Hey YouTube, just a quick follow-up part on a video that I'd made thinking that you couldn't control the Pixel Kings, say 2 or 3 flashes and control them independently. Now I'm wrong about that. It's just a bit of a, basically what you've got to do is, what I was showing you is, if you go into your flash control, into your external flash function, this is the menu that I was using. Now this menu's perfectly fine if you're just firing one flash. There's no need to go into the wireless setup menu. Now I was led to believe that when you went into the wireless setup menu that you had to turn one of your flashes onto master and one on slave to get groups A, B and C. Now that is actually true, but with the Pixel Kings you can actually leave your flash as normal. Like at the minute the flash is off camera to my right hand side, you can't see it in E-TTL, so if I just take a picture, bang, I don't know how that's come out, but there you go. That's actually very nice, but I don't know how it'll look on the video exposure. It might look overexposed, I don't know. But as you can see, if I go to the external flash function, I'm just going to put these zoom onto. Just get this one to auto. Yeah. So if now I've set my flash up there, so that's how you'd use one flash basically. There's no need to go into the wireless setup unless you've got 2 flashes or 3 flashes. But what I want to show you, remember when I was telling you that you can't get, let me just go back to the no menus at all, just press my button. Right, remember when I was telling you that when you turn the transmitter off to get your ambient light exposure and you turn it back on, you lose your settings on your flash? Well, that is true, and it is a bit of a bug, but one of my nice fellow subscribers, actually the same subscriber who's told me how to do both of these things, but I'm now passing it on to you, so thank you very much for your info. So if I don't want to lose the settings on my flash, when you go into your flash control, all you've got to do is actually disable your flash, take a shot, bang, say that's your ambient light reading, and then you can go back in and tell it to fire, and voila. I don't know if you can see it, but let's just play the thing. You go to the one before, no flash, then with the flash, and basically that's slightly looking overexposed on the video camera, but it's actually not. It's just the shutter I'm using. But I'll tell you now that my flash now won't lose its power, so if I was in manual and I had it set at a 32 power, I can do it that way to overcome their bug. So there's a fix for you there. Right, back onto the thing that we've all been waiting for. If you go into the external flash menu, which is here, this is what I've said to you: use this menu for one flash, there's no need to go in any other menus. But if you bought 2 flashes, what you do is you go into your, first of all I'm going to knock it to manual. I'm going to go into my wireless setup and enable it. Now if you look now, even though I'm in the wireless menu, my 580X has not been set to master. Now this is what confused me, because I've always had to set it to master when I do this, but you no longer have to, you just leave it as is. And if I go to, I don't know, a 64th power, and I press the button and go and have a look at the, and I've just gone over to the flash, sorry about the volume decrease, and now it's in manual and it's at a 64th power. So I take a shot, I don't know what it's doing. Oh yeah, it looks quite well, not bad. So there you go, that's now firing it in, oops, that's now firing it back into the wireless setup. You can do your zoom here and all if you want. My zoom's now, in fact I need to put it, yeah. So external flash function, wireless set, you can actually do it from here as well. You actually don't need to go back into the wireless setup menu. You could do it from here, but I'll just show you. If I enable group A and B, now my flash won't fire if I go now. Oh sorry, yeah it did fire. If I go into my external flash function, I've got group A and B lit up. Now that is how you'd control 2 Pixel Kings. Now I know that sounds quite obvious, because that's how you do it if you were using a proper Canon wireless system, but again, if you were using a proper Canon wireless system, you have to put the flashes in master and slave, and that's what confused me. With this setup, you don't have, I mean I've not got another one to try it, but I'm led to believe you don't have to. You can just have 4, say you had 4 flash, another 580X now on group B, you just leave it, you don't put it on master or slave or whatever, you just leave it change the receiver to group B, and then you can adjust group B from here. So that's how you do. I mean, obviously I'm only using group A now, so that's all I've got. I can that's master flash, isn't it, where you turn your 580X on master, but you just leave that to disabled. So yeah, basically, if we just go back one now, we can put that back in E-TTL. So into your external flash control, that's the menu for one flash. That's how I'd control mine, because I ain't got, well, I have got 2 and 3 flashes, but they're not wireless ones that will work wirelessly. But when I get my YN565, if I added that into the equation now, I'd go to the wireless function, enable it, bang. You still have to go back here and just turn it into manual flash first. Set my zoom to 50mm, bang, I can hear it going on flash. Enable that and go to group A and B, and now set my YN565, not in master or slave, that's what were confusing me. Just leave it, turn it on, let it default. The receiver will automatically tell it, on, if I put it on group B, it'll tell the YN565 now that I'm in manual mode. If I go back into E-TTL mode, let me just go back. If I go back to E-TTL, I think what happens is when you, well, it does. If I now go into and put it now, see now it's on group A and B, and then you've got group A, B and C. All that would happen is them 2 flashes would do what I said to you in the first place. Now they'd both fire an E-TTL through the wireless setup on group A and B, but they'll both fire at exactly the same power. But to be honest, if I were getting creative and using a hair light and a rim light and or a fill light and a key light, I'd like to manually do it anyway. So forget E-TTL for that, knock it into manual, go into your wireless setup, set group A and B there, and then, or you could even, I think you can go to group A, B and C, and you can get all 3 groups. So I could have a group A as my key light, set that to half power, group B as my fill light, set that to 1/16 power, and then set group C as a rim light and put that to a 16th power as well, or maybe at 132, go like this, bang 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 bang, and turn it up there. And that's how I do that to adjust 3 groups, and that's really made me excited now. I'm really happy about that. I'll just disable the wireless function. I'm really happy about that, and I'm also happy about that I can set my zoom on auto. I can say take a shot, and if I say that I want to disable the flash, take an ambient light reading, click, there's my ambient light reading, I'm happy. I've not turned my flash off, so it's not lost any settings. Tell the flash to fire. Go into the flash thing, turn it, flash exposure comp, turn it down one more, and bang. So if you look at these 2 shots, we've got ambient light and mixed with a little bit of flash as well. Sorry about it looking a bit bright, it's just the exposure on the video. And yeah, so that's answered 2 questions. It's answered a fix for losing your settings without turning off your transmitter, so you won't lose your flash settings. And it's also answered that I am going to be buying a couple of YN565s and another couple of receivers now, and basically to use them you go into the wireless function. But because I'm an existing user on the wireless function, I've always had to put stuff into master and slave to get the Canon wireless system to work, and that's what confused me and made me think that you couldn't do it with these. But you can. You just leave your flashes alone, you don't set masters, you don't set slaves, you use the wireless function, you set your groups A and B's and C on your Pixel Kings, and then you can go in and do what I've just showed you and adjust them all individually in manual, not in E-TTL. If you were to use 3 flashes in E-TTL in the wireless function, they'll all fire the same, but they'll all fire if you've set one at quarter power. The nearest one to the subject, by the way, for that, if you want to do that, the nearest one to the subject is what the E-TTL will take its reading from. So all 3 will fire at that power. So if that was deciding that quarter power was the reading, then your other 2 flashes, even if they were 10 foot back and the other one were only 5 foot away, they'll only fire at quarter power too. And thanks for my subscribers for clearing this up, and hopefully for anybody getting Kings now, because they only cleared it up to me in a message, I thought I'd do a video to make it really clear for those newbies. Anyway, thanks for watching.